Yeah. Oh. Hey, hey. What's up, guys? We're gonna go through another full session today. I'm flying solo. I'm not flying solo. I got Miss May, the Marley dog, with me today. So we are officially in phase 2 of the program. So we're gonna do some heavy stuff today. So phase 2 is broken up into higher stim, heavy days, more strength-focused days, and then higher volume days, still more focused on hypertrophy and tissue development and all that good stuff. So today is a heavy day, so we'll get into some heavy stuff. Kick things off with some somersaults. I talked about this last week in one of my posts. I love kicking things off with gymnastics. I don't do it every session, but I like to mix them in when I can. It's just variation. It's different. I think it's great for kinesthetic awareness, just awareness of your body, where you are in time and space. And I think ultimately just builds your tools and makes you a better mover. It's also fun, and it comes with a little bit of perceived risk, so it wakes your brain up, gets you alert, and ready for some big outputs. So we ripped some somersaults already. Now we're gonna get into some jumps. The program today calls for repeat broad jumps and then some single leg broad jumps. I'm gonna skip the repeats today. I'm still babying the knees a little bit. They're still barking me. So I'm staying away from the higher impact stuff, and I'll be doing my jumps onto a box today to save me some impacts. I think what happened is, for the past 5 months, all my squats have been either back squats or front squats, my bilateral stuff. And then I just recently switched to Hatfield squats, which is just, they've just allowed me to do way more weight. So now I'm doing my working sets. I'm repping out close to high 3s, low 4s. Whereas before with front squats or back squats, I'm not a very good squatter. I got long legs, I got a long trunk. So my 1 rep max with a back squat is 365. 1 rep max with a front squat is 320 or 335. And I'm hitting reps of like 6 or 10 with 395, 400 with the Hatfields. So I think what happened is with that just huge increase of weight, it just made my knees angry. Because with the typical squats, my limiting factor is my back. I just got a super long trunk, so I'm the type where it's not the strength of my legs that limits me, it's my back. The heavy squats just want to fold me over. So when I do the Hatfields and I get those constraints, the supports from my arms, it takes that factor out of it. So it just allows me to load a bunch more weight. So I think that's what pissed my knees off. I also want to be very clear too, it's not the exercise that pissed my knees off, it's the exercise allowed me to load much more weight than I was used to doing, and that's what pissed my knees off. So not a huge issue. It'll resolve itself as long as I'm not stupid and I do things like what I'm doing today. Instead of doing the repeat broads with big impacts, I'll do broad jumps onto the box and save myself some impact. So if I can avoid pissing them off too much, we'll be okay. Keep loading them, keep pulling on them with various knee dominant stuff that I'm doing throughout the week. Some ISO holds. They are feeling better week to week, but I'm still not ready for some big jumps. So all that being said, we'll get into some broads now. We're going to rip some, we'll do some single leg broad jumps, some double leg broad jumps. Last week I hit 100 inches up onto the box with 12 inches of elevation. So I'm going to try to beat that today. I'm not sure where I'm at with the single leg broad, so we'll see where we're at today. That's it. Let's get into it. So I just kind of picked a random place to start, and I'm just increasing by 2 to 5 inch intervals here, depending on how each jump feels, and try to max it out, see what the best we got today is. I don't know if that counts. There we go. All right, we're gonna get this 79. Let's make it 80. We'll make it 80 inches and finish the left at 80 inches. Yep. All right. The right is at 72, 73, 74, 75 inches. See if we can close the gap. Let's go for a 77 here. Ray Bork. All right, that's nice. Right leg always seems to be a little bit more lacking than the left with jump stuff, strength stuff, for whatever reason. All right, let's try 2 legs. So we got 100 inches last week for our best. Let's see if we can beat it this week. All right, so that's last week's best. We're gonna see if we can beat it. The best on just a flat broad jump is 111 inches. This is 100 inches, but we got the 12-inch elevation with the box. And I guess we'll just go right to it. Ready? Oh! All right. First try. Good sign. Go up by 2 inches. Here we go. Ah! Aborted the mission. It's scary. Can't count it. So I was chatting with a group of athletes yesterday. We're doing some broad jump stuff, and we were talking about for a big jump to occur, we need a nice marriage of, yes, power, like your capacity to produce power, big and strong, express your strength quickly, but we also need technique. So we need a nice marriage of those two things. Just being gritty and powerful is only going to get you so far if your technique is terrible, and vice versa. If your power output is crap, but your technique is great, that's only going to get you so far. So the broad jump, if you really want to progress with it, you're going to have to get, yes, be strong, yes, be powerful, but also be good with your body angle, with your shin angles, projecting yourself horizontally, and then getting your feet back out in front of yourself. So there's a lot of technique and skill components that come with it, blended with the big power output too. All right, let's get this. Come on. I don't know. All right, I think we're gonna finish there. 102 inches, so we beat last week's best by 2 inches. Okay, let's go pick up some heavy stuff. All right, I spared you guys the warm-up sets, so we're jumping in on the first working set here. So we got 4 sets today, 2 heavy 3s and 2 back-offs of sets of 5. So we're gonna go 3, 3, 5, 5, and we'll hit the first working set at 455. See how it feels. All right, that felt good. I think we're gonna stay there. Try to move a little bit better on the second set. So anytime I get up into heavy territory with the deadlifts, it's almost like I gotta test it out. For anybody that's been following me for a while knows I've been rehabbing my hamstring. And deadlifts, don't bug it too much. It's funny when I'm in, hey, move out of the way. Come over here. So when I set up in a conventional deadlift, there's enough knee flexion, it puts the hamstring at a shortened enough position that it really doesn't bother it. If I could move more towards like an RDL, I have to be careful about how much weight I'm doing. Just by a few extra degrees of knee extension, puts that hamstring in a lengthened enough position where things can get dicey. I actually had a little bit of a setback a few months back with RDLs, so I'm always kind of wary with big heavy hinges, but these feel pretty good. So I'm going to stay here and see if we can move it a little bit better on the second set. Apparently there's still some thought out there that using straps is cheating when deadlifting. So I've always thought is a stupid argument. I think Angus Bradley put out a post recently that said, if you don't use straps when you're deadlifting, you don't have a strong grip, you have weak hamstrings, and I think he's spot on. We're not using the deadlift to train my grip. I'm trying to train my posterior chain, my hamstrings, my glutes, my back. Don't let your grip be your limiting factor on your deadlifts. Use straps. You get to a point where your grip is limiting your ability to increase your weight. Get some straps. Nobody cares. And you're doing what's best for for your hamstrings and your glutes, not for your grip. It's almost the end of your story. All right, getting into some chest supported rows with slow eccentrics now. So the splits change now in phase 2. So now it's full body push, full body pull, full body push, full body pull. And that's a split that I originally got from Christian Thibodeau from T Nation, probably back in 2016. And I've always loved it. He has a program that's 6 days a week, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. So I'm only doing 2, but I like it because we can hit the muscle groups and the patterns with higher frequency. Everything's getting hit twice a week, twice per workout, twice per week. And it's just a split that I enjoy and a fun way to organize the workouts. So, all right, here we go. So while we're hitting the muscle groups twice per workout, there'll be a difference between the two movements, either bilateral, unilateral, or we'll work the muscle in a lengthened position and then in a more shortened position. So for example, for the deadlifts, we are in a bit more of a lengthened position. For the hamstrings, when I hit the hamstrings again in this workout, it's going to be Nordic, so to be working eccentrically in a more shortened position, well, shortened to lengthened. For the rows here, we're doing a horizontal pull. The second back or upper body pull exercise of today will be a vertical pull with chin-ups, which I'm actually going to modify today because I've been working on front levers, but in the program it is a horizontal pull here and a vertical pull for the second back exercise of the day. So we're getting variation where we're either going bilateral, unilateral, or working at different angles or different muscle lengths twice in one session. Here we go. All right, I'm going to attempt some slow eccentric Nordics here on the GHD. I haven't done these since before the hamstring injury. I think I'm ready for them. I might have to be a little bit conservative today. You might see me free fall after I hit like the 1/4 mark on the way down. But we'll give it a go, see what we got. Oh. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh. All right, we faltered a little bit at the end there. I don't love this setup for Nordics. It's contingent on you having the right length tibia here between the knee here and the foot here. It's also a little awkward and doesn't really allow you to push up into this. So it's a little bit awkward, but if you don't have a partner to hold your ankles, it's not a bad option. But I'm happy with that. There's definitely no way I was doing that a month or so ago or even a couple months ago. So not too bad. All right, so as I mentioned, the program calls for weighted chin-ups now. It's a 3x5 or a 3x6 with a heavy hang at the end on the last rep. I've been working on trying to get a front lever, messing around with different calisthenic stuff, and the front lever has been one of them. So I'm going to sub my chin-ups for front lever practice. So the progression I've been working with is just kind of starting in like a crouch position, where you'll see what I'm talking about when I'm hanging, and then just incrementally lengthening, becoming a longer and longer lever, and it's gotten better and better each week. So. As you saw, just slowly lengthening myself, trying to hang as long as I can in the length of position, then pulling back in and see how many reps I can get like that until my grip starts to fail. The lat strength required for these is ridiculous, but we're getting a little bit better every week. We'll see. I'll be the first 6'4" person in history, recorded history, to do a front lever. I'm sure that's not true, but it definitely pays to be probably shorter for these. So when I do this type of work, I don't really worry about sets and reps. It is strength work, but it's kind of strength skill work. So I just kind of go until I fatigue and my reps really aren't feeling like they're getting me anywhere anymore. Or if I get bored with it. Usually fatigue happens before boredom here. Oh, Jesus. All right, that's probably good. You guys don't need to watch all the practice. All right, our last exercise of the day are curls. Most important exercise of the day. And here's the game. We're going to do as many strict curls as possible. And once we gas out with strict curls, we're going to do as many cheater curls with slow eccentrics as possible. So it's a fun way to get to failure and kind of work past failure and really tax yourself on the eccentric. And you get a great pump from it, feel all jacked up afterwards. I like to try to start with the weight, or choose a weight that we can get at least 10 reps with the strict curls. And then we'll see how many cheaters we can get after that. But at least 10, I think we'll be able to get at least 10 strict with this weight. Let's see how we do. That'll get you there. I think that's it for today, guys. I'll hit one more set here, but you guys don't need to watch it. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and we'll catch you on the next one.